2 teams, 5 players each, and 1 goal. To not fail. Failure is bad. It's a community map pack. 6v6 this map B, but it's a 5v5 on Man of War Assault Squad. That 1 extra spectator slot is for moi. And a nice looking church in the middle. We're going to be expecting some good battles around there on that hill on the right. Mainly fences and trenches. I can hear some vehicles in the fog of war and a lot of pinging. Too much pinging for my sound card to be playing back into my headphones. These players need to identify where they're going on this map. Most of them, if not all of them, have not played this map before, so that's going to be a very important point. Let's introduce these players. On the far right, we have our Otto Skionzi. I'm just going to be calling him Otto. Oh my, I need to make a new intro video for this one and fit all of these players on. That's going to be annoying, but oh well. It'll look fantastic by the time it's done. Over on the left of Otto, we have Idle Juice. Over in the center, we have Gabriella there. And Albatross player on the left. This leaves 1 more player, but I see some motorcycles from Lord Lemming initiating self-destruct mode. Considering Lemming brought a motorcycle with a machine gun, that machine gun from the motorcycle, not a separate machine gun entity. He didn't get there any quicker than Gabriel. Gabriel got this whole squad there, and he's in a very good position right now. He's avoiding that machine gunner almost entirely. It seems like he's going to go around and flank that, but we've got more battles going on the right-hand side. Here's Blitz Matrix for the Germans. Oh, a fantastic grenade throw there. And most of the infantry gets out of the way, but they do run closer to the infantry. A second grenade gets thrown there as well. And now we have this 1 lone machine gunner who's picking apart. Oh, he runs away from a grenade. We did see a 3rd grenade, 4th grenade there from Blitz Matrix. And the surviving machine gunner is now no longer surviving. He gets killed like the rest of his squad. We have 1 trooper on that right hand side trying to capture that point, but he's soon going to die. There's that 2-2-2. That was bound to come from a German matchup. You know, whenever there is Germany involved, there's always going to be a 2-2-2. Expect a 2-2-2. So get an AT rifle. It's a safe counter. Just have it around. There's Gabriel's actual AT rifle as soon as I mention it. That's going to be great, but the 2-2-2 is not in the proximity of that area. Unlike our light half-track here, which has been blown to pieces from that 2-2-2. There's Angus in the background. He's the one that's banking Angus. He'll be known from now on. This right-hand side has collapsed into the hands of the Germans with no resistance whatsoever from the Soviets. Literally no forces there. Our combat is going to be happening all in the middle. There's another grenade from a German player. And it nails 2 soldiers. There are casualties of war. On the left-hand side, we have 1 brave soldier. Looks like he's going to try and sneak up the Screaming Eagle's machine gun and chuck a grenade there. But he is closing in from head-on. This is not going to work. He's going to be spotted way before he gets into throwing range. And he decides to fire. I guess he wanted to get closer, maybe fire a shot, try and get a headshot, try and get that clean, nice 100% accuracy shot kill. But that didn't work out. He loses that life. Use suppressive fire. Find out what your suppressive fire button is. I think it's actually by default F5. But that suppressive fire can actually pin soldiers so they go like in cover. They stop firing, they duck their head behind cover. If you get enough suppressive fire, then you can have 1 guy charge up and chuck a grenade. And we just saw an excellent AT rifle blast that 2-2-2 from inside this bush right here. That is why you have an AT rifle against Germans, if you can. Our friend Gabriel has brought a T-60 to the field, and we have a few soldiers from Otto riding in a half-track. Oh, and even getting an AT rifle in there too. He doesn't want to be thwarted by another 2-2-2 or any light vehicle again, so we'll have to see how that does. T-60 rolling out into the middle of the field with a 2-2-2 gun. It's, I wouldn't say completely safe. The Germans could have an AT rifle of their own, they could have Panzerschrecks, they could have AT guns. We've got pinging on the map in the bushes. Here's a Puma. That would be not the best thing to go up against the T-60, but it does have longer range. We've got a bazooka shot happening there, but it just misses, and the Puma is now on alert. Screaming Eagle knows that bazooka. He saw with his own 2 eyes that there is danger on the field. He also needs to look out for that T-60. The T-60 could very well kill the Puma as well, but the Puma, if it gets long enough distance between the T-60, it will be able to take it out, no problem. We've got AT rifle fire now on the Puma. Oh, it's too dangerous for the Puma to be there. It also takes a bazooka shot. It was unnecessary. Look at the fantastic hill position that was on. Clear sight over all of that area. The hill is just so important to hold, especially from a defensive point of view. If you've got stuff on your side of the map, then it's going to be no problem taking out enemy vehicles that just cross the line. We have a brave Panzerschreck soldier here in the rock. I don't know what's spotting him. There is some infantryman around here that can see him, which is just mind-boggling that they've got infantry that far up and they're in stealth. Otto, over on the right-hand side, has managed to regain control of that sector. Good for him. Maybe that AT rifle did something. T-26 has joined the center. The Soviets really like their light vehicles this game. And even though they seem to have firm control of the center, they don't have that central flag point. I don't know what is stopping them. There's obviously some guys in this building, but why are there no Soviet troops in that zone as well, just trying to cap? Maybe there's some great grenade throwing going down. It seems a little unfair, though, that doorway to the church is on that side of the map. It gives access, a lot easier access into that church from that point of the map. We have a very brave tank commander repairing this vehicle, but the engine is damaged. It's on fire. That thing is going to explode soon enough. He needs to get out of there. There's the explosion. There's the traitor running out of the vehicle, burning, dying. How tragic. T-60 is still here, though, picking off guys behind a sandbag like its job title does. It's very good at doing that from close range. The T-60 also has a really low profile. If you look at it compared to other tanks, it's tiny. It's like a micro machine. But it still gets hit. It's not going to entirely save it, but the small differences have to add up sometime. We have a Flak 38 over on the right-hand side for Otto to deal with. It only has infantry over there for now. We've got a Goliath on the field. This is the earliest possible Goliath you could ever have. Angus, my brethren, what do you plan to do with this Goliath? Oh, that was a lovely Molotov. Oh, he's so enjoying that. Oh, it's so hot. So fiery. The passion is burning up inside him. He's going to die. T-60 really wants to get a shot on this Goliath. Angus. This is... What? No, the track has been damaged. So lucky Goliath, but it's kind of... Oh, we had a great shot here from a Hetzer tank or a Panzer IV tank. One of them managed to nail it. Maybe that Goliath was used to bait the T-60 into showing itself, and then the shot was fired. I don't know. I think that's a waste of Goliath. Any Goliath which fails to detonate and doesn't kill like 2 whole squads is a failed Goliath in my books. It does explode there. It's probably burning Germans in that church now, which isn't good news. We have, again, another AT rifle trying to pick off a Flak Panzer. That's not the greatest matchup. An AT rifle against a Flak Panzer. They need to get engine shots, not aim for the guys on the crew. Although you can shoot through the armor, and it will hit those guys, but they'll probably kill you before you take both of them down. And the driver, there's the AT shot. He picks up the AT rifle and he does manage to get an engine hit. But again, before he managed to actually decrew everybody and get him off there, he dies. So we have to pick up that AT rifle again. Let's not waste those resources on the battlefield. We can keep that around. Another thing to remember about these bazookas and AT rifles, by the way, is if the guy dies, you can still pick up the weapon. Unfortunately, with a tank or an AT gun, they are much more susceptible to being entirely destroyed and completely useless. So try and remember that with these little small arms. They are also very, very good. AT rifles can even detract tanks. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. I can hear it squeaking in the fog of war. You don't fool me. Otto with a medium tank out now on the right-hand side. The medium tanks are out for the Soviets all over the place. We have a T-34 in the middle too. And it just blasted that Panzer IV off screen and I missed the explosion. God darn it! But there's a huge infantry ball of German soldiers hiding up behind this rock, which offers excellent cover. Both sides, but grenades are willing to go over the top of it and destroy everyone there. Even more grenades happening to go off. The Hetzer is still up in the center. T-34 doesn't seem so concerned with trying to deal with it. Looks like it's going to move now. Where's it going to go? I see a mortar from Albatross all the way back here, offering some excellent fire support. And these hills, because of the terrain, it's going to be hard to kind of kill them with any sort of infantry or tank. So really, that's a nice purchase for this map in the center. I remember posting in a forum about this, about the mortar. The mortar is not the sort of response you want to take out specific things. It's very much a long-term investment, but screw that right now. We've got Idle Juice charging in behind this picket fence with our German half-track coming in. These Soviet troops are certainly not going to stand up to that. They all die within an instant. We've got a few soldiers behind that building taking the point, which is already there, so they're not really taking it. Another AT rifle on the field and a heavier upgunned T-34. This is going to have no problem taking out that half-track. The half-track better start running. I don't think he notices that that's there. That could be bad. Everything's bad. Panzer IV fancies its chances, and it's fancying a bad chance. The T-34 has a pretty good shot just on the side or at the turret from this distance. The main gun is damaged. It's tracked. It's hull damaged. It's not going nowhere. That Panzer IV critically failed. Remember what I said at the start of the game? That's not good. And AT rifles continue to be useful throughout this entire game. This is the perfect game to show you what AT rifles should always be kept around somewhere, just somewhere behind a fence. You should have one. Bring it out, surprise the enemy. They try and use these light vehicle tactics all the time. Deny them, complete and utter denial of that service. We even have a small AT gun arriving on the field in one of those shoe cars. T-34-85 from Idle Juice is in a potentially disastrous situation. We've got a Panzer IV from Blitz Matric over there in the distance. It's got a good side shot on this T-34. And he's moving the Panzer IV backwards behind the house, making it absorb the shots, which is just not nice. Not nice to let people's houses destroy. The T-34 manages to stun the crew. The Panzer IV is rolling forward. Will it be able to fire off a shot before? Yes, it does. Turret damage, which is going to stop it from turning and maybe even firing. We're going to need some fast repairs on that T-34-85. In the center, a half-track joins the battle for this church. They still don't have this point. It is completely neutral. I'm sure the Soviets are gaining it now. The half-track gets grenaded. You can see all these mortars. Just the scarred landscape from that mortar fire. We also have a counter-mortar from the Germans here, and it looks like this half-track wants to take it out. Along with the sandbags, along with the guy behind the sandbags, along with all the guys around the mortar, along with the mortar sandbags. Oh, we're even getting keepsy-upsy played with a mortar. The half-track is continuing to go on its rampage. Where's its next target? I believe it's Lord Lemming's pack. Dum 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 dum. Oh god, those guys never stood a chance! Someone on the German side really needed to ping. Lord Lemming has a Panzerfaust. This could take out... Oh, evasive maneuvers from Gabriel. He turns right and just narrowly avoids the Panzerfaust shot, which is a one-time use thing, not like the Panzerschreck. So that's gone. He just probably doesn't have any more. We have a half-track into the middle, bringing in some lovely soldiers to cap this area, which was going up by the Germans. It seems like the Germans still have soldiers in that church. We still have soldiers in that half-track as well. They could die. It seems like they're just charging forward. Meanwhile, Otto is engaging with an Su-85 against the Panzer IV. All the way over there in the distance. It seems like we've got long-range engagements. He wants to keep max distance. We also have one of those irritating tanks, the arc-firing tank, Screaming Eagle. He really likes these tanks. The T-60... Oh, that looks nasty. That went straight through the T-60. If you can rewind that, which you can. Don't say you can't. I know you can watch it from YouTube. Make sure you're watching in high definition 1080p quality that I'm recording at. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time uploading. It takes me so long to upload. It's like 8 hours or 10 hours or something. Crazy times. Anyway, there was a big, massive blast shot that I forgot. Also, a half-track dropped a load of troops into this forest area. We've just got like guerrilla warfare happening now. It seems like these troops are actually surviving for a pretty lengthy amount of time. We also see from those troops that we have a Hummel. A Hummel artillery firing in the center. It's going to be trying to pick away at all these troops and defenses, and maybe that mortar. Gabriel moving up closer with a T-34, trying to get no longer trying to get the Panzer IV-F that Screaming Eagle had and no longer has. That's been taken out by Gabriel, and he's also getting the Panzer IV to the right of it. We got some insane ricochet inside that T-34. It does take a hit, the crew does get injured, but the T-34 is still going and still does a lot of damage back to that T-34. Engine damage, absolutely, that tank is no more. It's got to take some massive time out to repair. Now it's just completely dead. Another T-34 comes to reinforce this hill, which is now a complete fortress of an area for the Soviets. It's a castle on a hill. I don't know how the Germans are going to come and take that back right now. There are so many defenses in place upon that hill. I want to see how that gets destroyed, and hopefully the Germans will do this. Currently we are at 28 points to the Soviets. They are in a huge lead right now with the amount of points they have in the center. Only one of the zones is not in their hands, but they do have the zone to the far left. We have a shoe car making a very dangerous run up to the right-hand side. This is now in the borders of enemy territory. There could be anything around here. But there was some infantry around here for the Soviets too, so it's not entirely unsafe. A 222 comes up, destroys a half-track. It looks like that half-track was doing some scout work. There is only death and suffering in that direction. Oh, a Pak-40 has joined the battle from Lord Lemming, setting up in the foresty area of Narnia. Meanwhile, this group of infantry are crawling in a big circular blob formation. Albatross there could probably just set those infantry slightly behind the point and bring them up when he needs them, otherwise they're going to get scouted, they're going to be bombed by most likely a Nebel that has to arrive sometime shortly, because what 5v5 doesn't have a Nebel in it? That's not right. We got more Panzer IVs though. T-34 getting hit from the side, and the Panzer IV taking a shot. The round goes straight into my screen. T-34 is down, and we've got a Jagdpanzer from von Kippola. So it's been doing some serious banking to get that out. 15, 16, 17 minutes into the game. Albatross's chunky T-34 seems to be a bit confused, looking over off in this direction where we have a 222 from Screaming Eagle. The T-34 isn't going to hit it with the church in the way. The chunky monkey needs to go around. Bring it around town. I can hear it. It's coming. It's going to destroy that 222. Doesn't look like he can get the angle from there. It needs to keep going forward. We've got an AT rifle here as well on the hill with some excellent positioned sandbags, which is just now all around the church. It doesn't seem to get the kill. Getting a good, nice camera angle on this one. It's crawling up, it's going prone, keeping a low profile, using that direct control. There it is. The 222 is no more. It's about goddamn time that, oh, the T-34, the chunky T-34 has gone down, probably by that Jagdpanzer all the way back there. But the Germans really need to get a move on. We have a charge here from Otto. Currently the Germans only have one of the middle points. Everything else is in the hands of our Soviet chums. Idle Juice here with an Su-85. That could be the next victim from the Jagdpanzer. We seem to have a lot of medium tanks on this map, and that hill seems very, very important to control. You can sort of fire around, like, just absolutely everywhere. From that hill position and get a load of good side shots. I believe that's why the Soviets are currently looking like they're going to win this game. Also, the mortar positions behind that hill, I feel they probably must have done a lot of damage to infantry on either side. It's almost crucial to get. Almost like a cascade effect going on with that middle point, I feel. But other than that, this map seems to be favouring armour quite a lot, especially long-range armour. A lot of flat ground, a lot of open area, not so much stuff that tanks can hide behind, like buildings. Plenty of cover for infantry. You can see this area is just littered with trees and walls to go behind. Plenty of room for them to hide as well. Just check it all around here. Infantry absolutely everywhere for Otto there. Blitzmatric trying to engage with a Panzer IV on his zone. He is getting that zone almost slightly in his Su-85. It doesn't want to take out the Panzer IV. It should really be going for that. I think that would be a good call. Maybe it's just trying to look out for that Jagdpanzer, but it's going in the wrong direction. Oh. We have a sneaky little player on this left-hand side. Monster Drum, I don't believe I've actually introduced you. I've seen you a few times and I've just been like, nah. But Monster Drum over on this left-hand side, just not really been challenged so much. We do have a player over here from the Germans now trying to contest this area, but the amount of defenses that Monster Drum has, he's got good positioning with his infantry behind that wall. That was a lovely little stretch. I hope I can do my map after this. By the way, if you didn't know already, I can't remember how many maps there is in the map pack, 17 or something, 20, maybe more than that. But I've done a map, it's called Mansion, it's a 4v4, but it has 5v5 slots for spectating. Hoping I can do that, although it's been crashing the last few times I've tried it, but we'll see. It's going to be a awesome game, I can tell you, because it's my map. I make the rules. I'm going to make everyone kill each other for my entertainment, and I'm going to record it. It's going to be sweet. We'll see. Over on the right-hand side, this point has been captured by Blitzmatric. Good job, kind sir. Trying to get back into this game, but we need some more zones captured right now, and the Soviets are looking like they're about to take another zone. T-60 in the hands of the Germans. Who has that? They're trying to take on an IS-2 from Gabriel, which has positioned itself on the center. No better place for that. T-60 from Screaming Eagle, now being fired on by an AT rifle. There it is in the forest. It should have no problem. We get a guy dart up and is just vaporized, completely evaporates into the atmosphere. A second soldier also throws an AT grenade as guys try and crawl out, and they are just met with a catastrophic death. Those guys had no chance. Another Flak Panzer, that's not the greatest buy. Not the Flak Panzer T-60 IS-2. Not gonna happen, I don't believe. What the hell are you guys thinking over on the German side? Have you gone completely nuts? And the IS-2 is taking out the Jagdpanzer as well. It's still smoking in the fog of war. The number of wrecked vehicles on this church area is too damn high. Yes, getting those memes into this game. I feel kind of lame now. Like nothing is original from me. Like I've been stealing my entire life. Big boy guns are out, artillery firing in the center on top of this IS-2. The rounds are just going to the left of it, none of them directly hit, which they're going to have to do any sort of damage. That's just how artillery rolls in this game. Sometimes if you hit near the track, it will detrack it, and that's pretty good. Just something comes out of the situation, but sometimes you might get lucky and hit the engine directly and completely nail the tank. That guy phases through the wall. No window or door for him to fall out of there, but those wooden buildings aren't exactly the most resistant to bullets. Bullets can pass through them. Or at least I think that's the case anyway. I know that this game has a very realistic bullet penetration. I say realistic in a sense. Anyway, the explosions from Radio Op. Is that Radio Op still alive? He must be in the fog of war somewhere. What's happening over here? We just saw some... Whoa, we've just got like a whole load of bodies here, dead. Not those alive bodies, those are good bodies. There's a German spy. I've been expecting you, Mr. German James Bond. Yeah. He's managed to escape that one. Good job killing all those soldiers, though. Damn, that's a lot of people dead, but they were only conscript level soldiers. They're pretty easy to kill, especially when you have an elite. I've seen elites just wipe out entire squads before. It's not unnatural. Not unnatural in the slightest. It seems like we're almost... addictive clicking pen. I need to throw all the pens off my desk, otherwise I just end up picking them up, randomly clicking them, and it's going to be really irritating for people. We've got a Panzerfaust in the middle, and the tanks back away, both of them. The IS-2 and the chunky T-34. That's its new name, the chunky T-34. That's the T-34-85. Angus's German James Bond spy here is now being tracked down by a half-track. A half-track kills it. But not before it manages to destroy a T-34. One of those prototype chunky T-34 ones. Good play there. Whoever that was. Whoever is on the left-hand side for the Germans, I've completely missed it. whoever they are. But good job there, the sneaky tactics. The Soviets are having such a vehicle party up on this church area now, and they don't have this area, which is very surprising. The Germans seem to be lacking almost everything. Infantry, armor, artillery, hope, skill, pie, a dream for a better tomorrow. It's all gone to buckets for them, but they're still going to fight because they have to. They have to. I've told them if they don't give me an interesting game, I will dislike them more, ever so slightly. Yeah, how's that for a threat? So they will continue to battle, but all this armor up here, we've got an IS-2, we've got a T-34-85, T-60, half-track, like 2 infantry squads up here somewhere. I'm surprised that they haven't been brutalized by that SDFKH. Eagle has a killer position with this Pak-40. You can see he's using the terrain, he's just poking out that AT gun, getting some shots. They seem to be missing, and that's... Why is the Pak-40 missing from this distance? Maybe it's going for the big armor. Oh, it's been hit! Surprisingly enough, even though it had like the lowest profile you could ever get on a Pak-40, it still managed to take a HE shell from one of those tanks. Presumably the IS-2. That's fatal. They really need to take out this IS-2 to get really massively back into this game. That would be such a big boost in their confidence to win this game. But we just lost an Su-85 to the right. We've got 2 veteran Tigers appearing on the field. One's gone far left, one's in the center. That's not going to be too much of a match for this IS-2. It could be a long battle, but the IS-2 seems fairly confident it can take that out. Moves up forward, facing its frontal armor towards that direction. The Vet Tiger on the left-hand side, dealing with Monster Drum, who has just been such an icon in this battle. He has done more than any man could ever do in the history of history. I've magically acquired a lisp. Oh no! 78 points to the Soviets, 14 to the Germans. This game is going to be over shortly. The Germans have acquired the central location through whatever means they did that. I don't know how. I'm sure that that door in the front of the church has something to do with them easily getting infantry in there. I don't know why the Soviets just stick one soldier, an SMG soldier, to cover that door. That would be fine. This church has taken very little destruction. I don't believe it's actually capable of being fully destroyed or destroyed that much at all. It's one of those churches which has its aura of indestructibility around it. Now this is good. We've got a huge infantry section there just behind the church. They're waiting to move in. They're not going to stand there and do nothing and then just die from artillery fire. We're going to wait until a few guys die, and then we're going to reinforce the area with soldiers very nearby. And we've got another red flashy dot here from Angus, the sneaky James Bond II spy, who's now taking a lot of fire, not doing much casualties himself. Inflicted very little damage. Probably would have been better off staying alive and just keeping eyes on that squad. We've got artillery in the sector. They could bomb that location and kill all those infantry. And oh, that would be so fantastic to do. Killing lots of targets is the name of the game, but remember, the name of the gamia, is to acquire these points on the map, and it's going up pretty quickly now that the Soviets just have almost every single point, leaving the Germans with only 3 points on their side of the map. T-60 blasting its way on the right-hand side, deterring all infantry German soldiers from entering that sector. Vet Tiger puts an end to the T-60's life. This game is so going to wrap up now, and I think the Germans... Too many Panzer IVs which were wasted. Panzer IVs are about 450, 500 manpower. We saw at least 4 of them wasted. We've got more that we can see on the battlefield. You can see one right there. We lost one over here at some point too. Blitzmatrix just trying to throw a few soldiers into that zone. There's a few craters he can put himself into, but he's so exposed. That radio op is right there behind that bush with his radio pack. Cool guy. I'd love to get to know him. Another thing that I think was kind of a big loss at the start was that Puma that got thrown in, completely wasted. I'm not going to mention who did that. He knows who he is, and you guys can use memory to remember who he is. But just throwing vehicles in like that is always a bad idea. Sure, sometimes when it happens, oh, Monster Drum just covering this side with a lot of infantry. It seems like they've got a Metal Gear Solid positioning, though, just looking in very random directions. But throwing vehicles in like that, sometimes, like 5 to 10% of the time, you might possibly do some serious damage. Not that serious, though, just some killing like a squad, a whole squad or something, which is redeemable later on in the game. You can get that back, it's not that much of a problem. And you'll escape, you might die, one of the two. As opposed to the other 90% of the time, where you will just fail, you will die, you will lose your stuff, you'll kill like one soldier, if that. And it'll just be super bad. Remember, early games, light vehicles will just die to AT rifles. If a skilled opponent is around, he probably has some sort of counter to that, and it's just gone, completely gone. The IS-2, facing its armor to the right, it's not too concerned with that Panzer IV-F firing in an arc. It's not got the greatest penetration values against big tanks, but it can track in. It looks like they're going to get some repairs on that. No one guy climbing in to get in the 50 cal position. IS-2 being crew injured. Again, just doesn't care. Oh, a nice Panzerfaust right there, using the terrain to sneak around, but it only tracks it. Not good enough, sir. Not good enough. This crew must almost be on the brink of death. They've been injured so many times from that Panzer IV-F, which seems to have now lost interest in trying to take it out. Wild 222 appears on the left-hand side. There's a lot of infantry there. A whole squad of German soldiers fleeting back into their own territory. They need to advance. 98 points now. And Neville is going to land in front of them first, trying to take out all of these soldiers. Oh, the radio off! The radio off is... No! No, I'm sure he's still there in the smoke. No, he's gone. He never stood a chance. And on that bombshell, Gabrielta Trostustrum, you have won. The other guys have obviously not won. Process of elimination. You can do it, guys. You know it. Enjoy the highlights. I'm Anuki.